pandemic has given us several ways to be practical in serving others. Our hands are constantly washing and reaching for hand sanitizer. We're aware of keeping social distance as a way of serving others. However, even still, our ministry hands have been so very active here at Grace. I will say that as one of your pastors, you will never know everything that goes on here. But in the last week, some of you have had hands and hearts full, reaching out to help our seniors, visiting, helping make difficult decisions. This last week, serving a whole lot of St. Patrick's Day meals. I think 150 or so were served here. Our quilters and our knitters are using their hands always to provide comfort and warmth, especially around the shoulders of those who suffer. Many of you have been using your hands to make a phone call or write a card, encouraging others to keep hanging in there. Some of you might have been using your hands to offer vaccinations or register people for their vaccinations. So as the light begins to flicker at the end of this tunnel, we need to remember that it is the small things we do with our hands that matter. Have you wiped a crumb off a child's face this week? Have you waved a greeting to a friend? Have you been able to make a meal or write an email? Would your bedtime prayer tonight include remembering the many things that God has used your hands for this day? Here's the thing. Serving with our hands becomes commonplace if we let it. But we need to remember how really extraordinary it is. And everyone can lift a hand, from the youngest to the oldest, from the most fearful to the most brave, from the ones living in abundance to the ones living in scarcity. We can all serve. And as we serve, using our hands, it is always a joyful thing. It just is. And what's important about serving and using our hands is that we need to give God the glory. We need to release the outcome of whatever our work is, that somehow just to be thankful that we are able to respond to God's love rather than reject God's often mysterious ways of loving. I'd like us to take the next few moments to focus on our hands. So slow your breathing. Make each breath intentional. Notice the life moving in as you breathe in and the life moving out, refreshed and renewed. And very gently, move your hands and fingers like the opening of flower petals, and just let your hands rest open. Become aware of the air on your fingertips, between your fingers, and on the palms of your hands. Reflect on the things your hands have already accomplished today. Now you might slowly raise one hand and place it on your heart until you can sense your heartbeat underneath it. And then very slowly, you might lower your hand down into your lap, carefully, as if you were still holding on to your heart. Because you are. Your hand holds your heart for others. Your hands extend your heart to others. You might take a moment and reflect on those persons whose hands have left a loving imprint on you. And now just clasp one hand into the other, giving thanks to God.